Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today we will be painting this beautiful seascape, and I do know it's a little bit more difficult and a little bit more demanding, but you know, we do have to challenge ourselves from time to time. But if you're looking for a little bit easier tutorial, there is over 200 tutorials on landscapes, seascapes, flowers, butterflies, and all sorts of other themes. So make sure to check out my channel. And without further ado, let's get started. I will be using this bowl to do my sketch, but first I'm just drawing the horizon line. As you can see, I'm placing it right in the middle, and I'm even measuring this time. So this is the horizon line. Also a little bit above, I will be painting the line, well, I guess that will be actually the horizon line. This one is the line where the beach is, and the middle of that circle, the middle of the bowl in which our earth will reflect, and that one is actually in the middle of our painting, and the first line was middle of that horizon line. So as you can see, those parts are somewhat same, 1/4 of my paper. Also, I am adding this line where the ball is sitting on the sand. I will be using a masking fluid to mask that ball because I do want to skip that part, make it easier for myself not to have to think to go around it. If you don't have a masking fluid, well, just be careful when you're painting sky and sea, beach, to go around that circle. And maybe you can use also a masking tape. If you have it, just try to cut it in a circle and then glue it onto your paper, and that is the way also you can mask your circle and your ball. Also, I would have to say, you know, you could not mask that part where you can see down there where the ball is sitting in the sand, because later on, you know, we will paint it anyway, like that is part of the beach, so you can skip masking that part. After the masking fluid dried completely, it has to be fully dried, just be careful about that. I'm starting to paint, and first I prevetted the entire paper, and then I'm using the mix of Mars brown, a little bit of sepia to paint in the sky, part of the sky, and also the beach, and just that part of the sky just a little bit above the horizon line. Afterwards, I'm moving on to painting the clouds, and I'm using a little bit smaller brush. The size of brush will also depend on the size of your paper, and as you can see, I'm just wiggling with my brush, painting the clouds. This time I don't want those clouds to be huge, so I am using a little bit smaller brush, and just here and there also adding a little bit more of the paint, because some parts of the clouds I do want to be a little bit darker, some a little bit lighter. Now moving on to painting the horizon line, and for that line I've been using some burnt umber because I do want to have some variety. It is monochrome, but not really monochrome painting. So I am painting the sea, and as you can see, I've painted the horizon line, smudged a little bit downwards, and now with the script brush I'm just adding those lines for the sea, mimicking some waves and also some shadows in the sea. And right now I am adding those lines, and actually I will not paint waves, white of the waves, but I'm just painting shadows. So just be careful about that. Those are just shadows of the waves, and I won't be using white gouache to paint in those waves. I will be using white gouache for painting waves in the ball, but not those that are in our actual beach. And also adding again some lines for the water, and lighter parts I'm leaving lighter just because, as I said, I won't be using white gouache there. And now moving on to painting the beach. First layer I did with Mars brown, and on top of it I've added a little bit of sepia here in the part where the shadow of the ball is, and also here and there in the nearest part of the beach nearest to us. I am adding a little bit darker color, and further away I'm painting beach a little bit lighter. right now I'm using this stiff brush, perfect for sprinkles. I'm actually using it for stars, to sprinkle some dirt on the beach. And also this is just a clean water. I'm also using just sprinkling clean water. It will give, you can see right now, beautiful effect to the beach. And to do that, your paper needs to be somewhat dry, not dry completely, but it should not be damped. If it is damped, it won't work, and the water will just spread and won't leave those beautiful texture. And well, as I said, just make sure that it's a little bit dryish, not completely dry. And right now, also when it's dry, I did add a little bit more of the splatters, and on top of it a little bit more splatters with white gouache. And now I made sure that everything is dry, and I am taking off my masking fluid. And I just wanted to say that I did get a new masking fluid, so you can see right now it goes very, very easily. So if you're having trouble with your masking fluid and it won't go very easily and it sticks and won't go off your paper, it is probably very old. So it is time to replace your masking fluid and to buy new one, because new one really won't rip paper that much, and it will be easier to take off. And as I said earlier, right now I've painted in that part of the sand that our bowl is sitting on, because we need to do that, otherwise it will just look at it's like floating somewhere. So now it is sitting in the beach, and now I am just drawing the sketch for that bowl, also doing the same horizon line and the beach line on it. And afterwards I'm just preventing the part where this is actually the part where the sky is going to be, because the picture is turned upside down in the bowl. So now the sky is downwards, this is now upwards, but of course it's downwards, and the beach will be upwards when we turn it right way, of course. So now I'm painting in the sky and those clouds, same way as I painted the clouds really on a real picture. I don't know, not on a bowl, not in a reflection, but original, I don't know how to call it. And now doing the horizon line, and also I will be painting that reflection pretty similar to the way that I've painted the original beach and the sky. So I don't think that asks for too much explanations. So I will now leave you to enjoy and come back if needed. For the water and waves, I'm doing the same thing as I did on the original picture. I'm just adding the shadows and not trying to paint in the waves, but I will on top. I didn't actually like how it turned out, so I decided to use a white gouache on top of it, and I will add a little bit of the white gouache. And afterwards I will again do some shadows and go back and forward, adding some highlights on the waves and also adding some shadows. I am doing right now again some details, and where I think the sea should be a little bit darker, I am adding a little bit darker color. And right now, to make it look like a ball, and it does, because it's a crystal ball, the shadows and the light is going on it in a couple of different ways. So I am adding a little bit of the darker color on the sides of the ball, and I think that will make it look a little bit, you know, more believable. And as you can see, straight away, right away, as we added those lines, everything popped. Just those lighter parts popped and it all fell into its place. So here it comes, that white gouache. As I said earlier, I did add it topped in with that stiff brush. On top of it, added a little bit more shadows. I also did a couple of sprinkles. And you know, that white gouache, at least mine, the one I have, when it dries, it becomes a little bit less opaque and a little bit more transparent. So I did need to add it a couple of times and just leave it to dry a little bit, and then add on top of it a little bit more. So I will be adding a little bit more of it, and that time I will be adding it from tube. And I did add also a couple of details to the beach on my ball, so when you turn it upside down, looks a little bit different. So when you turn it in the right way, you will see if you need to add some things. And this layer is actually a little bit more, you know, when you touch it, it's not so flat. It does give a little bit more texture because I did add a lot of that white gouache on top. And with that, I'll be finishing off this painting and of course this video. Thank you guys a lot for watching, for all your support. I really do appreciate that a lot. And if you do like this video, please hit the like button, share it, comment. If you haven't still, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to go a step further, thinking about joining my channel, listen to the offer, press that join button next to the subscribe, listen to the offer, and then decide whether or not you want to join my channel. And, you know, without further ado, thank you again for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!